Hello YouTube. So, out in the shed tonight, having a bit of a clean up. I thought, let's make a video. This is the Cash Engineering Company compressor. She's a very heavy old beast. Huge displacement, as you can see. Big twin V-belt pulley on the front. But what we're going to do first is get a gauge of the condition of the old girl. We're going to drop the oil out. Got a bucket here to catch it all. Going to drop all the oil out and see what kind of condition that's in. And once we've got all the oil out, we're going to open up this side inspection cover here, have a look inside and see if it's all rusty or whatever. So already loosened this beast off with the shifter. And we'll see what happens. It's either going to go well or go really poorly. There's water in it. That is disgusting. Anyway. Oh wow. Oh, she's got a dipstick. Look at that, it's even got a proper dipstick and felt seal at the end of it. Oh, we're in straight oil. It's somehow managing to go back on itself as it's draining, making a mess. Anyway, so we'll catch all that, and once we've got most of the oil out of it, there wasn't a great deal of water in there. There was a lot of oil in there still, so that's positive, I guess. It's rated at SA 20 weight detergent oil. So get this drained out and we'll pop the side up and have a look in there. Alrighty, time for a look inside. Cross your fingers. Ooh, surface rust. Oh, we might be golden. Oh, there's a little bit of rust on the outside of the crank, but everything else looks wet. God, they don't build stuff like this anymore. I need to know, is this an oil pump or a... I think it's an oil pump. I think he's meant to come down here. Yeah, it's broken off. If it was a like a driving gauger, it wouldn't spin like it'd be unloaded. Alright, let me have a play. Alright. Cleaned her out in there. That is an oil pickup. That is an oil pump. And round and round it goes. I'm starting to think it was like an unloader style of thing. Sometimes they can load and unload their like a clutch, like a drive clutch. So the pulley out here always spins, but loads and unloads the clutch. That's not the case. I found a phone number for the company that made it, the Cash Engineering Company in Melbourne. They're still in Richmond. As you can see, there's a bit of surface rust on the crank, but you can also see something very shiny in there. That looks good in there still, like the bearing material looks good. You can see up into the bottom of the bore there. I'll just move the engine piston, move it up, so be like top dead center. I can still see a crosshatch in the bore, so that could be awesome news. It's not a score, it's a definite crosshatch. Don't know if you can see that on camera. Anyhow, so the surface rust may be only on that crank, because everything might have still had oil laying on it. I'm not sure what this hanging down piece of steel is. Maybe a oil slinger or something. Maybe it dips in the oil and flicks it round. Not sure. But what we will have to do is definitely braze that, undo it there and braze that back together, or just get a new elbow. Looks like it's a 1/4 inch flare, maybe. But it's all cleaned out with thinners at the moment. I'm going to pour a bit of WD-40 in the top of there before I go inside. And yeah, that's the horrible shit we got out of it. So yeah, it turns beautiful and free. It doesn't lock up or bind up in any position, except for when you've got your finger over the outlet pipe up there. It will actually build up a bit of pressure, which is nice. So I might braze that end up, get the cover back on and make sure she's sealed. Set up a breather, because that's not going to be sufficient if it does have blow by. It'll blow a bunch of that straight out there. We'll set it up on a motor and give it a run. Now I'm going to keep it at about 900 RPM, I reckon. Between 600 and 900. I've got a pulley that I reckon is 3 times smaller than that. Or maybe 2 times, yeah, probably half the diameter. I'll give it a measure and work it out actually, but work it out properly. But I've got a 1440 RPM 240 volt motor, which is 3 kilowatt. That should be plenty of bearings to turn this one. It's only a single piston. It's nice and clean in the inlet and outlet ports. Here's the inlet. A bit hard to see with the camera. I will have a look with the bore scope before I take the head off. But judging by one, the way the chamber's work, and two, the big slot I can see down there, which I believe would be the intake chamber. Go down to like a reed valve setup. Nice and clean on the inside of this big old original air cleaner. I'll either use this or something similar again. It's got a big crack in it, but it's been like it for probably years and years and years. Alternatively, I have this. This is an intake exhaust air pump, air filter off a Toyota Crusader. So that's also an option. Anyway, these are just 3/4 BSP in and out, so we can put anything we want on it essentially. Yeah, get that sealed up, get a motor on it, get some nice fresh oil in it after we stick the bore scope in and see if we can see anything. There is just a plug there we can take out and have a look down the top if it'll undo. There's obviously a valve underneath this one by the looks of things. But we might just give it a run, free air, just straight displacing, just to make sure that it's not going to seize or anything before we bother mounting it. And then we'll mount it up on a compressor base. I've got a decent sized one out there that you might have seen in previous videos. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Just a bit of something different. If you're here from the main channel, thanks for coming. If you're just here randomly, awesome, thank you anyway. It's a Cash Engineering J4. and as you see, it's got like at least a 4.5 inch piston. So she's going to deliver some air as long as I can get the oil circulating and nothing's too damaged. We should be laughing. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next video.